Every year, fans ask the same question before the biggest international tournament in Mobile Legends. But this year, the answer feels harder than ever. With 25 teams, a revamped tournament format, more regions than ever before, and several organizations entering Paris in championship form, who actually has the best chance of winning MSC at the Esports World Cup 2026? Is there still one team standing above everyone else? Or has global MLBB finally reached the point where multiple teams can realistically lift the trophy? Today we're breaking down the favorites, the challengers, and the team that may ultimately become the next MSC champion. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. MSC 2026 isn't just another international tournament. It's arguably the most competitive edition of Mobile Legends in history. Moonson has expanded the event to 25 participating teams, introduced an even more demanding qualification path, and welcomed additional regional representatives as part of its continuing effort to strengthen the global MLBB ecosystem. That means more elite teams, fewer easy matches, and a road to the championship that demands consistency from the start to finish. At the same time, several powerhouse organizations have undergone roster changes, while emerging regions continue closing the gap on traditional favorites. Predicting the eventual champion has never been this difficult, which makes this year's race for the trophy one of the most exciting storylines heading into Paris. If you're looking purely at results, Team Liquid PH deserves to enter MSC 2026 as the team to beat. They're not just the defending MSC champions. They also arrive in Paris after capturing the MPL Philippines Season 17 title, becoming the region's top seed once again. Few teams in Mobile Legends history have managed to stay at the top through multiple major tournaments. Yet Team Liquid continues to prove that their system is bigger than any individual player. Their qualification also reinforces just how consistently they have performed throughout the past two competitive seasons. What separates Team Liquid PH from everyone else is their adaptability. While many teams rely on one dominant style, Liquid has repeatedly shown they can win through fast early aggression, disciplined macro, or patient late-game objective control. They rarely panic after losing lanes. They're excellent at drafting around the current meta, and perhaps most importantly, they understand how to adjust during long best of 5 and best of 7 series. That flexibility has become one of their greatest weapons on the international stage. Roster continuity also works heavily in their favor. Although the departure of OHEB earlier this season forced adjustments, the organization successfully rebuilt around its established championship core while continuing to trust the coaching staff and team identity that made them successful in the first place. Instead of completely reinventing themselves, Liquid refined an already proven formula, making them arguably the safest championship prediction heading into MSC. But calling Team Liquid PH the favorite doesn't mean they're guaranteed another title. In fact, this might be the strongest field they've ever had to overcome. The biggest threat once again comes from Indonesia, a region that consistently produces world-class teams capable of winning any international tournament. This year, Bigatron by Vitality enters MSC as Indonesia's top representative after an outstanding MPL Indonesia Season 17 campaign. Throughout the season, they demonstrated remarkable consistency, aggressive objective control, and one of the fastest game tempos in the league. Rather than relying solely on individual mechanics, Bigatron excels at coordinated map movement, constantly forcing opponents into difficult decisions around neutral objectives and side lanes. Their confidence in skirmishes allows them to dictate the pace instead of reacting to it, making them one of the most dangerous teams in Paris. Indonesia's second representative, Onyx, should never be overlooked either. Even after roster changes over the past year, Onyx remains one of the most experienced international organizations in Mobile Legends. Few teams possess their level of preparation, discipline, and ability to peak during international tournaments. Historically, Onyx has always been stronger at global events, than many people expect after domestic competition. They understand the pressure of playing on the biggest stage, and that experience often becomes invaluable during elimination matches. The Indonesian playstyle itself remains one of the biggest challenges for every opponent. Compared to the slower, macro-heavy approach often seen elsewhere, Indonesian teams thrive in chaotic mid-game fights where mechanical execution decides everything. If the meta rewards constant team fighting, both Bigatron and Onyx become even more dangerous. Another region generating serious attention is Malaysia, often proving in recent years that Malaysian teams can compete with and even defeat the world's best. Expectations remain incredibly high leading into MSC 2026. Leading the charge is Selangor Red Giants OG Esports, the MPL Malaysia Season 17 champions. Although they no longer enter as defending MSC champions, they remain one of the most complete teams in the tournament. Their biggest strength has always been discipline. Unlike teams that constantly chase kills, SRG focuses on efficient farming, objective trading, and minimizing unnecessary mistakes. They rarely give opponents free opportunities to snowball, forcing games into situations where superior macro and late-game execution decide the outcome. That patient style has repeatedly translated well against elite international compositions. Malaysia has also continued improving its overall regional depth. Domestic competition has become significantly more competitive than in previous years, meaning the country's representatives enter MSC after surviving stronger playoff runs than ever before. Even if they aren't considered the outright favorites, Malaysian teams possess enough experience and strategic discipline to eliminate any championship contender. But for me, perhaps the most fascinating storyline comes from China. While China's MLBB scene remains younger than Southeast Asian established ecosystem, its rate of improvement has been impossible to ignore. Moonton has invested heavily in expanding the professional scene, increasing opportunities for Chinese organizations to gain high-level competitive experience. As a result, Chinese representatives arrive far more prepared than those seen at previous international events. Chinese teams often approach the game differently from traditional Southeast Asian powerhouses. Their drafting tends to prioritize calculated scaling, creative hero flexibility, and structured teamfight execution instead of constant early aggression. That difference can make them surprisingly difficult to prepare for because opponents cannot simply rely on familiar regional tendencies. Every international appearance gives Chinese organizations more experience against the world's best, accelerating their development even further. Although many analysts still hesitate to rank China above the Philippines or Indonesia, it's becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss them as merely dark horses. The mechanical talent clearly exists, the infrastructure continues improving, and the remaining question is whether they can consistently handle the pressure of deep international playoff runs. Ultimately, that's what makes MSC 2026 so compelling. Unlike previous tournaments where one or two teams stood clearly above the field, this year's championship race feels genuinely open. Team Liquid PH enters with the strongest resume. Indonesia brings multiple organizations capable of winning the entire event. Malaysia continues producing disciplined championship caliber rosters. And China appears closer than ever to breaking into the elite tier of international Mobile Legends. The margin separating these contenders may come down to something as simple as draft adaptation, meta reach during tournament week, or which team improves the fastest between the group stage and playoffs. In a tournament this stacked, raw talent alone won't be enough. The next MSC champion will almost certainly be the team that adapts the quickest when everything is on the line. Based on recent results, Team Liquid PH deserves to enter MSC 2026 as one of the tournament favorites. They're the defending MSC champions, the MPL Philippines Season 17 champions, and one of the most consistent teams on the international stage. But unlike previous years, the championship race feels remarkably balanced. Indonesia has multiple legitimate contenders. Malaysia continues producing elite teams, and China's rapid rise adds another layer of uncertainty. Rather than having one overwhelming favorite, MSC 2026 may ultimately be decided by who adapts fastest to the tournament meta, executes under pressure, and performs when every match matters the most. Now, I want to hear from you. Who do you think will win MSC 2026? Is Team Liquid PH going to defend its crown? Or will a new organization rise to become the next world-class champion? Which team do you think is being seriously underrated heading into Paris? Share your predictions in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe to Mobile Legends News, and turn on notifications for more MSC 2026 coverage. Till next time!